Good morning. Good morning. I realized that took me about 10 seconds, well, 18 seconds actually, a little longer. So I started, I always forget to do that. I always forget to record my audio. I start the stream, start recording, and then I always forget my phone. I use Anchor, by the way, for podcasts. So if you guys are just following me on YouTube or catching me live on Twitch, my audio versions, those are up immediately after, usually around ending at 10:05. Those podcasts are immediately available. So if you want to catch up on any of the stuff that you probably hopped on in the last 10 minutes, want to catch early on in the morning what I discussed, you can immediately go back and just go on Stitcher. I'm on Stitcher, Spotify, and Anchor, of course, and SoundCloud. It's automatic. You can push to SoundCloud as well. I don't really check to make sure I'm on SoundCloud just because I don't have Apple products. But if you just search the IT blog, I believe you should find me there. So this will get automatically just like pushed there, I think, because they're partnered with Anchor. So I'm trying something new, you guys. Check this out. Boom, a filter, so I can get like the loose tea leaves. I didn't realize it was pink when I got it. I just picked it up because I got super excited. Look at that. That's the dangerous part. Tea leaves. So let's see. I never did any of this before. This is interesting. That's really good, actually. That's perfect. Give me 1 second. Wow, what a terrible way to start a stream, right? Like, as soon as the stream starts, just walk out. So we go to the audio. I am messing around my tea here, and it, like, kind of popped open. And if you guys don't know about tea, right? Um, that if you keep it brewed, like the longer you keep it brewed in there with the tea leaves, the more bitter it gets. So I tasted it and it was actually really good. I'm actually really excited because this is a new tea. So good. Uh, all right. So what I want to talk about today is how to use eBay to improve your IT skills. Now, the first kind of like the name I wanted to put for this title for this podcast was I might still do it for the YouTube purposes, but it was going to be uh, like when I was shown, when I was shown eBay or something like that. I forgot what. I just literally thought about it and I forgot about it. Maybe I should use it. And the reason for that is because somebody actually, I didn't trust eBay for a long period of time. I thought I was going to get gypped on stuff, and like what I bought, and it's going to show up and not work. And in regards to like computer stuff and all that, I never really shopped. I never really shopped. Period. I always like to buy new, so when it shows up, I know it works. I don't have to deal with any drama. It's like, oh, I need to return it. Da, da, da. Like I hate dealing with returns and like fighting people over $50, and then I know you're not getting it. I mean, now okay, great. Now I'm stuck with the thing that doesn't work, and I'm more pissed off now because I feel like you stole from me. Right? It's like I feel like you jacked me now. But what I wanted to go over is eBay and what it has to offer. Now, one of the main things that I improved on through eBay was actually a lot of things. I have a whole rack. I bought a rack when I was through Amazon. When I bought a rack through I went to buy the rack. I bought like an imported Cisco switch. One of my old jobs, they let me keep a bunch of SGs, and then Cisco catalysts I didn't use, and I reset them because I couldn't log into them. So I reset them so that they can be used. What else? And then I picked up a bunch of Sonic walls. Like, actually, yeah, I invested probably $600 in eBay gear, Sonic wall with no power supply, because my company had a power supply, no Sonic wall, so use the power supply there, and I would like take it home and mess with the. I mean, take it home and take it to work. I have one at work I can mess with. I have one at home I can mess with. I have to keep traveling back and forth with it, and then I would do settings and practice, do like the objects and stuff like that, and then kind of get used to that, all that, and then so I can properly prepare for the next day or that week or whatever, what have you, regarding troubleshooting router issues and stuff like that. So I did that there. I also bought a NVR through eBay. That was a few $100, and then with like 4 cameras, HD cameras, which I have up right now. I installed one. I What else did I buy? Oh, my server. My server. I bought a 1U server. It's rack mountable. It's right here, and that's what I actually use through several of my interviews and practice labs. What I did was on my old job in Redlands was they had me do some stats. Can you do X, Y, and Z? I'm like, yeah. Went home. I mean, I didn't go home. I went to my desk. I logged into my server at home. Did the changes, did the things that I started simulating the environment, and then I was like, then I went and pushed it to the client, the same exact same stuff to the client. So, um, which is cool, right? So I had those opportunities. What I did was actually use my and it kind of slowed down my internet because the Sonic wall that I had in place throttled it down hard, and it was an old Sonic wall. So on top of that, so I what I did was I did like port forwarding and all that, and then all those kind of like settings for me to be able to RDP into it, and then yeah. So how can you guys benefit from this? Number one thing is always get a firewall. So if you're doing sysadmin and networking stuff, if you want to be on both like a full stack engineer, right? Um, this is the way to go. If you want to just be a system guy, there's also a way to go once you listen to the system side of things. Networking guy, just look for networking side of things. Now, see, first thing I like to do, because for me, I like to be able to touch anything and everything. Be the guy that they go to for um, my server went down, I don't know what's going on. Or, hey, we have a random outage happening. I don't know what's going on. Right? Just kind of the go to guy. So that way I make myself more valuable to the organization or whatever. Okay, the client. Like the client says, oh well, he sucks at this or he sucks at that. It's the person who is good at the majority of the stuff they're gonna get repeated requests. So I like to have that. Makes good for when you're arguing to make more money. They realize that the biggest customer, one of the big customers that they have, really likes you, so it shows you value. Anyways, so I like Dell servers, but let's do rack, and I always recommend to get a rack mount. It's easy. I have one that's standing. It's just annoying. Rack mount servers, enterprise networking. Now, granted, these aren't going to be the highest performance things, but the purpose to these isn't for storage of your stuff, none of that. It's more of I want something I can, and look at that. Look at my stream. Look at my stream. Let's see, hold on. I didn't even realize that. Because this morning, So people on the podcast, my stream topic is like completely off. So I'm gonna adjust that now. So I'm gonna adjust it now. Use eBay to improve your IT skills. Early Bird episode 7. Cool. 7 days in a row, you guys. So cool. It's 21 days to make a habit. So here we go. Now we're searching an eBay rack mount server, Dell PowerEdge R620. We have 8 core, 8 core, 2 gigahertz, and then 146 gigabytes of SAS storage, 15K on the hard drive, 32 gigs of RAM. Right, this is $200. I believe it comes with. If it comes with, and what you're looking at, if you get something at $200, it's a steal. Like something like $300. That's really good, especially if it's like ready to go. I bought a server that's under $300, is ready to go, and I don't have to do any configuration. Literally just build up the RAID. That's one of the things I wanted to learn too, was making a RAID with my Dell server, just to help my confidence up. I'm very hard on myself if I feel like I've never done it exactly what you're asking me to do before. I say I can try. But for my confidence, I spend more money on the side, and I can say I could definitely do that, and it's helped me. So it's up to you guys how you guys want to do it. But for me, I took advantage of stuff like this. I mean, you don't need to buy like 10 of them. You should buy one, right? So if you're at the level of your career that you can't afford the investment into this, like if your bills are okay, instead of going out, if you go out, you buy some drinks, man, it's $50 every time you go out. Just to go out for 4 weeks, all right, or 4 days. I don't know how often you go out. And then save up for this. Get yourself this. This is an old server too, but it's all right. Dell 6. I think this is one I have. 620. Yeah. No. I don't want to get up again to get you guys out of stream again, but I will buy this one. But I always just keep shopping, right? And look at these servers, man. Look at this. I would like to have one with more options, like a server that has more like slots in there, but the cheapest as possible, and just kind of shop around these, right? This is how. So 2 processors. Does it come with? And you have to get it. This is why I did not fuck around with. I went and bought an Amazon UPS, so that way, if my server, because where I was at my mom's house, the power will go out all the time. So I don't want my server to die randomly when I'm like trying to do something at home. I mean, at work. So I bought UPS, and I just literally plugged my rack into the thing, and it'll always pretty much stay up, and it's been pretty stable for me. And I bought that on Amazon, and that was about $60. So, but if you're kind of just like raw dogging it, why not? Yeah, 2-time hard drives. So this is enough. Look, what I care about, what I look at regarding VMs, right? This is the main purpose you're doing this for, right? What you're trying to do is, is get a system up, a hypervisor up, because that's what your normally environments are. You could do a standalone, but the best way to do it for study purposes, to get 2 birds with 1 stone, because VMs behave the same. Like you wouldn't even know you're logging into a VM unless you're on the hypervisor, right? So they're essentially the same regarding the operating system. There's no change in the way you do certain things. We start the server, update it, look event logs, like all that's the same. Now, how do you get the most benefit out of this? By standing up a standalone domain controller? Not really. But if you can get right here 32, if you can get 3 servers up, a domain controller, maybe an exchange. I don't know. This exchange pretty heavy, and then a PC, right? 3 VMs up, and get yourself in an environment where you can test exchange, domain controller, and like if I was just to start off with do a domain controller, mess with group policies, maybe set up your home printer, and then set up a group policy like communicates to a home printer or something like that, things of that nature. Or folder redirection, it's a real easy one. Like stuff like that, just understand the concept of it, right? Um, so this is what I would buy. I would buy something like this, and at a very cheap price, we can get real world testing. And companies don't care that you have a lab at home because they don't know how to. They don't understand what that means. They don't understand that you have pretty much as much equipment potentially in a very small business with the company that the customers that normally have. You probably have more. You'll probably have more systems in place than they do, right? But you can actually give descriptions of what you've done. Well, I have I set up a lab. I set up a server rack at home, and I've been studying group policy and server administration. These are the projects I've done. And you lay it out, and these are the stuff, the hiccups that I ran into to prove that it shows that you were doing something. Uh, yeah, and then like it describe your setup. When I set this up, I ran into this, and this is how I troubleshoot this. This is how I work through that. Kind of like sell yourself a little bit, but use this as to give you confidence in your ability to do so. I think one of the problems is when you walk into interviews is that you're not confident. You don't feel that what you're saying. You may have some imposter syndrome. If you don't know what that means, it's a it's a you don't believe that you're qualified to do your job, and you're kind of lying, and you're kind of faking the funk. And so someone's like, aha, like you liar. It's never going to happen. But you kind of feel that way, that you feel like you're not at the caliber of what you're saying that you are, and people are going to find out eventually. And it's like a mental thing. But this is a way for me to combat that. I bought these and I set it up, and I gain a lot of confidence by using this platform. So this is servers, right? So with under $300, and that's with hard drives. You can actually find deals where, see, I wouldn't do this. No hard drives, $200. The hell, right? Thing is that you may, because these are probably better servers. Like if you already have spare parts like RAM sticks, hard drives, but you don't need like you don't need the super bestest hard drives. Like just whatever it is you actually fit into the stupid thing, get it to work, right? Who cares? As long as there's well, even that point, like I've stuck some regular desktop hard drives into a server. It was a little slow, clunky, but I was able to operate on it. It wasn't to the point where I'm just like, all right, this is useless. So I'll recommend that. So these are more expensive ones. Don't even touch those. But like this is when I found this out, this is a gold mine for me. Once I pulled the trigger, I got it in. I was like, this is dope. So I made sure I had a room for my servers when I was looking for an apartment. So now, let's do like if you're like a lot of people are in Cisco here. If they're following me, they know Cisco ASA. Right here. Boom. Let's see if maybe I can switch this around real quick. One second, we get to stop getting those notifications. You guys can bear with me for a second here. So you guys can not deal with this stress. Let me see wallpaper. trying to change the screen now. There it is. One, two, there it is. Make sure everything's still working. All right, cool. All right. So now you guys lost my face. How do I get my face back? Here it is. Webcam. Who knows? I guess I'll mess with that later. That's another thing too. Is like that's what sucks about like going through some of the stuff. You testing stuff out. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my god, how you do this, how you do that. So whatever, that works for now at least. All right, there it is. Okay. So, all right, cool. Sorry for the delay. So I was just kind of messing around with my stream a little bit, but so let's check this out. So this is $4.99, $49.90 each, and it's a Cisco ASA K9 bundled K9 security firewall upgrade. And the Cisco ASA is 5505. Do I recommend this for my environments? Not really, but do I recommend this for you to learn that Cisco for the iOS purposes? Of course. Let's take a look at like for some reason like my Discord is blowing up. No idea why. This shit is on fire right now. It's bothering me. It's like, and I muted it. I don't know why. You know what I'm gonna do? Boom. Log out. That's what I can do. All right, cool. So bundled quantity 1 warranty is 90 days, 1 power supply. That's cool. To show the iOS on here, show version. There's a serial number on here. Am I blind? I know it's in here. BIOS flash MF. You have to look that up. The disk image, oh, this is there. We'll have to look up the BIOS, the version of the BIOS, because it's not giving me the iOS version. And I'm thinking that the way to search for the iOS, like the numbering scheme is different and the catalyst on the ASA. And in any case, it's not going to change much, just because of the fact that you have some type of Cisco background with an experience with a Cisco ASA, it's enough. If you look up like a Sonic Raw, yeah, good guess. So he's good. He's a good. I think it's a little bit too expensive. However, I think this is something cheaper. Oh God. see. And I'm honestly like I'm searching with you guys right now. I'm not. This is not something I set up. I'm like literally hunting. Like this is what I got. Well, I still have them for lab purposes, but I don't have it live anymore. But look at this, $40, free shipping, network security. This one looks like it's more like ready to go with their situation, appliances. It is something to be good to have with like in your back pocket, if you ever need it. But I would get something also with like a power supply. TZ215, people on the podcast, TZ215. Um, and then this is so you can make a rack mountable, right? So my point, so this is good right here. And then what else? I wanted to show switches. Like this is what I recommended to people all the time for lab. This right here. This one's good too. Under $100. Under $100. Just for you to get that, like the more higher grade it is, the more of the like clunky it's gonna be, just because people are selling it at a low cost for a reason, right? You don't want anything new. You want HP Aruba, HP Pro Curve. All right, let's see what we can get with that price with these guys. Boom, I'll buy this one on the spot. With ears, rack mountable. Boom, you're good to go. POE $40, get it. This will show you GUI interface practices. I like the HP Arubas. That's why I kind of want to see the poker, just because, yeah, it's more of the higher end. I want to see what the cost was. HP Aruba, like I would throw up the change for one of these guys used. It's unfortunate a lot of these guys are not used. I'll keep an eye out for this, just because of this one. I'll get this one. It's not as they don't have a bunch of ports, right? People watching at home, HP Aruba 2530, 8-port PoE rack mountable switch, right under. And this command line is very similar to Cisco, right? Cisco switches. So, and it has a GUI interface, graphic interface for you to understand tagging and untagging, the way that the commands work, but tagging, untagging, and trunking, the meaning is different. Here you have to, if you're gonna do switch to switch, what you want to do is you want to untag one or untag your native, and then tag everything that's on top of it that you want to pass through that trunk, through that interface, right? Now, when you do trunking, it's more of a, when you trunk something, you send that to only a router or a firewall. So that's kind of how these guys work, and that's a learning curve that I went through with them when I deployed a spanning tree network, and just like split up the flat network to multiple VLANs and all of that. I swapped out I installed these network switches. I removed whatever was on there. I don't even remember at this point what they were on. But removed some of the switches and installed new ones, and get them on a multiple VLAN network. And this is what we were using, and so they had me install these, and I went engineered it and kind of built it all up for them. So yeah, like this is how I always shop eBay first when I want to get lab equipment. This is where I go for my lab equipment. Now, the story I got introduced with that was like my second IT job. The manager was really cool. He wanted to teach me stuff, and he was like, "Yeah, get it here." I'm like, I don't know about eBay, but I'm telling you, man. And he shopped eBay all the time. I think he kind of had a problem, right, with eBay shopping, but it taught me a lesson regarding just going out there and making the best of the situation. I don't need to buy something new to get worth significant worth out of it. I don't need to buy $1,000 server. I can buy a $200 server and it can get the job done when I need it to get done. Right? I'm not actually actively building something for a company to rely on. I actually need something I can tinker with. That if it breaks, I don't lose something right significant. Uh, so use eBay. Use eBay to help you gain that experience. And give you that real world knowledge, right? You don't have to don't spend $1,000 on your computer when you don't have your first entry level job yet. What I mean by that is on a laptop. Like I spent a big chunk of change on my laptop, but for these purposes, I will put the money now going back. I will put the money first on this, and then my laptop after, just because I would love to simulate a lot of the new stuff that I'm gaining at work at home. So I don't have to wait till the next day to show up and be like, oh, I need to test it. Or show up early the next day and test a bunch of stuff. I'm able to quickly uh, demonstrate at home, right? And this is bothering me. Like, I'm so upset at Discord. Goodness. Let's see if I can. Ba, 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 ba. Alright, so I'll do this for now. So you can. Main one pulls out of that. And let's figure out why. Game capture, edit, change, 2, done, save. Alright. Cool. So yeah, I pulled. This is a gem for me. This is actually built my confidence, allowed me to get a lot of that experience. I have quite a few projects that I did group policy, migrated group policies, consolidated them into like 40 into like 2 or 3. Um, Now I'm very proficient in group policy. In my opinion, I haven't dealt with something so complex. It was just like, what? How am I gonna do this? That's the cool thing. Once you find a fundamental baseline of just understanding of the functionality of the thing, everything else just like, oh, just add that. Oh, I don't know, did that? Good one, you know. But it's just having that fundamental understanding. Until you have the fundamental base, everything you think is like there's this one thing you're missing and it's gonna click, and it's usually not it. It's having that, and it goes back to the learning certification thing. When you're having that problem with uh, grasping the fundamental not like basics and stuff like that of a particular subject, like group policy, how does it function, a domain, how does it function, all that stuff. That's when you read, learn. You don't get certified in DNS, you just read about it. You don't get certified in group policy, you just read about it, right? So that's where you just kind of build up just learning and experience and knowledge of your craft. Certifications is some of the stuff that's very detailed that you can get certified, and you put that stamp on there saying like he is good at this subject, and that subject is very broad and very difficult to understand based on other people's like opinions, like Cisco's opinions, Juniper's opinions, all them. They're like, oh, we'll certify you in here, right? There's some certifications like 3CX certification that is they have a partner thing and then you get trained on it, you get certified, right? But it's a few hours of training and that's it, you're done, right? It's not a extremely difficult thing to understand, but you can get certified. It legitifies that person as you're completely knowledgeable of this thing. So yeah, so again, learning certification. So here what I would do Get, and this is what I advise one of my technicians is, get a server if you can afford it. Can't afford it, save up to afford it, and get a Windows Server cookbook. Any year, doesn't matter, 2012 or newer, obviously, and use that in conjunction with this and with the server, and you're rocking and rolling. The only issue here, though, is that I didn't realize was a problem because I didn't really deal with it. Was for me, I went to college and they gave me free software. What I did before I graduated was install everything, every single piece of software that was available to me in regard to IT. I pulled it, SQL servers, and I didn't care if I used it or not. I just pulled that shit to have a bunch of copies of stuff, and I use that for my labs. Now, people who didn't go to college or they did, and they may have not gotten that opportunity to pull your free software. Oh, it's not technically free; it's technically I paid for it, but software that I was able to lab up at home for free. That costs a pretty penny, depending on what you're trying to do. But it's like that's another few $100. And again, I had discussed this, I think, in my earlier podcasts and streams, whatever. If you look back, I did discuss this career is it's like it's a lifestyle. It's something again I would describe it as like doctors and whatever and lawyers because it changes all the time. You have to keep studying, you keep investing in yourself. This field is very different. It's just very different. Um, yeah, it's like no one, everyone kind of trips out when I say I'm buying stuff wild to learn more to do whatever. And they're like, what? Why? Um, it's you can't sit in your hands in this industry just because you fall behind real quick. And for me, I'm not trying to fall behind. I'm trying to stay ahead always. So I'm always buying equipment. And I actually no, to be honest, I haven't bought equipment in a while. Um, trying to think. Well, I also purged some equipment, right? Um, and to be honest, the reason I haven't bought equipment in a while because I'm actually putting money into like soft like boson was expensive for me, so I put money on that. I haven't really had the need to yet, just yet. I almost pulled the trigger on a Cisco ASA. Like the ASA that I saw was actually pretty neat. But I'm also thinking of a way of purchasing a higher grade firewall so I can test out more enterprise level stuff. When you're first starting, though, you don't need none of that. But right now, my level, I feel like that's kind of I want to kick it up a notch to see if I can do something like that. Just because I've had messed with low level firewalls already and know I can do it, but I want to test some other features, right? So, and I also kind of want to do one for my home, like just have enterprise level one for home and do some other stuff, like just some other stuff I'm kind of planning on. So, but no, I haven't. I also have like a big Sonic Wall 2400 I'm looking at. I did set up my NVR. I do have a Cisco 1800 here. So, yeah, and also it kind of makes a lot of noise. Right now, there's no, but when I need, like, I had a Google interview. I interviewed with Google a while back and I turned everything on. My girl actually got upset because it's kind of loud. But whatever. I turned it on for. I would turn it on for like. The thing is it gets hot in here. My whole. I need an AC. That's another thing too. Like I need a dedicated AC for this apartment because I live in Nevada, so it gets real hot. So the thing was always spinning. So it gets really loud. But it's bearable. Whatever. If you do it, you're not gonna study for 8 hours, right? So you practice it for a few hours. You shut it down. You're good. Turn it back on. That's the whole purpose of the thing. It's supposed to be a workhorse. So of everything. I do have a Cisco Catalyst that I've been testing a 3CX system on. So I powered up. I need that's the only one I got PoE for. So I need to buy some PoE switches. There's some stuff that I'm mean, also kind of lazy. I've been really dedicated to work lately, so I haven't had. I hadn't put the time and energy into my lab equipment, but here soon I'll be doing that again, especially for you guys, right? So I'm trying to think of a way that's quiet, not so loud. I want to test with the servers on and do a stream and play back the video and seeing how loud it gets in here with the. See if you guys can hear me. If not, I'll do voiceovers after the fact. But I want to do some lab stuff on my server, and I want to show you guys some stuff on the stream. Kind of do yeah, like one-on-one teaching, right? How to do this. It's a 10-minute clip. So so yeah, like I'm gonna work on that so that way I can make that available for you guys. But again, none of this gets expensive over time, right? The more you put money into it. However, if you piece it together, it adds up to a lot of money. But those pieces is what matters. You buy this piece, it gets you this much. Like, think of it as raises. Every time you get an opportunity, every time you give yourself more tinkering, more things to do at home that equal to the enterprise stuff. Like, no one cares you built a Pixie server. Now, how do you relate that to an enterprise level environment? Sell yourself, right? For me, I study the boring stuff. I study the boring stuff, understand the basic concepts, don't invest too much hours, and then have my fun somewhere else. Where, if I like, for me, I like exercising. I like playing video games, stuff like that. You can just go drink a beer, go hang out, whatever. Um, do those things and then go into your lab environment and test some stuff that you do at work. Why? Because they may not pay you, but the next job might pay you, right? So always do something that'll benefit you as a whole, moving forward in your career. So that way, those $200, $300 you invested made you $5,000 the next year on bonuses or raises or what have you, right? So that's the way I kind of look at it. I invest a certain amount, and I'm expecting to gain a certain amount. I mean, I get everything I want, but if it's somewhere improvement, then it's a plus, right? It's because you're multiplying that over years. So it's kind of like this whole arguing about going to school, right? Oh, you're never gonna, like, you owe all this money. Like, yeah, okay, but you go and buy a $50,000 car. Like, well, your school was $50,000. Your car is depreciating value is $50,000. So with the school knowledge, you can potentially get a very, very high paying job. Now this car gets you like friends or whatever, like for what it's called, like an illusion of wealth or whatever you want to call it, or maybe it's your dream car, right? But then that dream car is going to go to shit in like 5 years. So I once had a discussion with another IT admin, and he was saying, "Yeah, like I always wanted a BMW, so but I'm never going to get one again." I'm like, "Why?" It was just always my dream to have one. Now I owned it, but it's shit, man. So, and he was an old guy, and it's just his dream. I think he was from India or something like that. And he said that his dream was to always own a BMW in California. Like, he wanted to live here in the U.S. and do all that stuff. Uh, so I was like, okay, cool, awesome. But yeah, like but anyways, for me, I invest into myself as much as I can to benefit in the long run. So this is a way for me to do it, and this is how I suggest everyone to do it: to invest a little bit more, um, and you split up in a year, man, or your tax return money, right? And right now it's a bad time, and then on top of all that, right? But the thing is, I don't know, like, if you have some chump change on the side and you get like, this is me initially looking at, like, you fucking, oh, this is under $350. Whoops, I thought I said $35. No. Like, you get, there's Craigslist too, right? I haven't looked at Craigslist, but there's Craigslist too. There's like, and you can shop, like, there's like ranges, right? Like, could you piece stuff together? Is there deals? Like, could you call them, right? Call them and be like, hey, I'll give you $50 right now. One of the things too that I hit a big plus, I got this catalyst. It's like $200 brand new or something. Bought it for $50 on an auction from China. So it's like $500. Let's see if there's anything out there. That one. that one, that one, right? Like, hey, try it. Give this right now. Um, yeah, you know what, man? Look, just try it. Try different avenues. Get that experience. Like, I know it's difficult. I know that it kind of alluded like of this job description thing, and this all relates, right? It's, okay, well, the job description is asking this much experience, this much knowledge. How am I supposed to learn it? This is impossible. Like, no, it's not. Um, yeah, people. If you're a business owner, are you gonna get the person who's like super underqualified, or are you gonna get the most qualified person you can get, the most you can afford? Like, everyone's trying to get a better deal. Like, we're actively looking for a cheap deal on eBay. You don't think companies are doing the same thing for employment? Like, if you're willing, hey, you're okay with like making fucking 10 an hour to do all this work of 4 people? Like, yeah. I'm like, all right, go for it. They're not gonna tell you no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're gonna put these job descriptions up there. Why? Well, it's because we get a bunch of them from the other method, and they all suck. So we're trying to get better people. Yeah, we can only afford this. It's true. Well, you cannot apply also, right? So it's kind of like that whole thing. There's this whole battle of like entitlement, and I don't believe any of that. Like, no one's entitled to everything of anything. We all earn uh, what we get, and there's obviously bad luck, right? You do all the work, you prepare, and you still get shit on. But you don't. At some point, uh, it'll pay off. Especially, like, in my opinion, you work, and you take accountability of yourself. Can I improve? Right? And if the answer is yes, then improve. And if the answer is no, then keep doing exactly what you're doing and be that stubborn workhorse. And I guarantee you, it will pay off. 100% will pay off. So that's the way I look at it. My 2 cents is go to eBay, go to Craigslist, shop around for some of this real world stuff. Um, Pick up a book, get certified, and then learn. Right, just learn those extra stuff. You want to be a sysadmin, learn group policy, get a cookbook. You want to be a network administrator, buy a firewall, um, buy a guide for that firewall. Like Cisco ASAs have a guide, Sonic Walls have a guide, right? So pick up some of these stuff and look. And at that point, if you're get CBT nuggets, right, $60 a month, buy some of this stuff, right? It's like get rid of some of the Netflix, get rid of some of your subscriptions and buy some IT subscriptions. Like, drench yourself in some of this like experience and knowledge at home, right? And so there you can have built some of that confidence. So when the people start hiring again, right, they will start hiring again. Um, just a matter of when, right? Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents. I wanted to kind of introduce you to eBay pretty much and what's available out there and how I would design something, right? Just get a $200 server, $100 switch, $200 firewall, and you know what? Don't even fuck around with the UPS. Keep it, boom, you good. Just get the power. Get a power strip from Home Depot. Get some Ethernet cable. They sell that on eBay too, right? So, or just buy and get some from work. Just like, hey boss, can I get like a couple of these and want to make a lab at home or work or whatever. If you're just trying to get into IT, uh, I would shop like in bulk, on Amazon or here. Like, 5. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right? So $10, $12, $20, whatever. I won't spend $20. So get like get you what you want is like a lot of them, not really log one. It's just like so. Just kind of split that up. But yeah, so set up a lab at home. Um, Go through every day. Go through commands on there. Set up something, or I want to do one-to-one NAT translation. Boom. I want to do port forwarding. Boom. I want to do a port forwarding now in this port. Boom. Create objects. Just go get a cookbook. Find cookbooks. Those are awesome. Uh, it helps you go through labs and all that stuff. So those are real cool. You're getting a lot of experience, and you can show that as a project. I've done this, I've done that. So I go through the list of how you did it. So cool. All right, guys, I'm wrapping it up now. I really appreciate it again. For all the podcasts are live on pretty much any platform, podcast platform. Also, my big library is on the itblog.info. Let's check it out there. Videos will be starting to be posted up there as well, as well as on YouTube, the IT blog and then space.info all together. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Peace.